welcome our virtual water cooler friends to the 36th episode of Into the Filmverse. What is Into the Filmverse, you ask? Well, that is a great question. It's a movie fan podcast covering all types of film content, including movie news, new releases, and a variety of past releases. If you want to keep up with the movies we talk about today or any other films that we may not get a chance to talk about, you can follow us on Letterboxd, the social network for film lovers. You can find me, Mytchel Chandler, at Mytch Reviews, and that's MYTCH. And you, Bryce, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about some films that I didn't watch because I'm a terrible person and didn't do my homework. And so we're going to talk about some popular films that Bryce watched throughout the week. But before we do that, I know we usually like to start off the top with some movie news. So
the only thing I have that I told Mitchell before this was Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah.
Has said that Morbius, the upcoming Sony Marvel film, is going to be in the MCU, and then Sony quickly shut that down and said no.
It was like immediately too. They were like, no, that's not true. But I'm like, but why would he say it is?
Here's the thing I think about is we got like No Way Home, right? Alpha Molina,
right?
Rumors of Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx. Why the fuck wouldn't Morbius be in the MCU if it's connected to Venom, and Venom's connected to Morbius?
Yeah. Like. Exactly.
There's Vulture in the fucking Morbius trailer.
So
Vulture's in Homecoming. No Way Home has Alfred Molina. Why wouldn't Morbius be in there?
And you also saw that Spider-Man mural or like that painting.
Yeah,
graffiti.
But that's a Raimi suit.
I know
that shit's so funny.
But if Spider-Man No Way Home has Tobey Maguire in it, obviously we're creating a bunch of like. But if this has to happen, so this guy's.
I wish Sony would just release a damn trailer because I'm just like,
dude.
I'm like,
same.
yo, like I don't want to.
I bet you we'll probably get one before Black Widow.
We'll probably get one at Black Widow.
Right. No, but yeah, exactly. But usually they release them online before.
I'm just
so they can play with it. But
Sony's fucking with us. That's what's upsetting. Is Sony knows that we want the trailer, and they're just like, here's a picture of a trailer. And
yeah, they did though.
Yeah, they did it like twice. It's like just release it, and then you get the news about Morbius possibly in the MCU, and then everyone's like, Sony's like, no, and it's like. But isn't Morbius connected to Venom and Vulture's in Venom? So why, or Vulture's in Morbius? So why wouldn't it be?
Oh, we have to talk about this. So this is like the news of the fucking century, I think, that come out of DC. So you know the Harley Quinn show, and have you watched the Harley Quinn show at all? The animated one?
I have not. I've seen clips from it.
Have you heard about this news story?
There's something about sex, right?
A little bit, yeah, exactly. So, the Harley Quinn show is a very adult animated show, right?
Yeah, like
it's
there's
geared towards adults.
Joker kills Scarecrow.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of blood, a lot of sexual innuendos and everything. Well, season 3. So they've done season 1, season 2. Now they're making season 3. I think it's actually done, but coming out soon. But season 3, it just got revealed that DC refused to let DC refused to let Batman go down on Catwoman.
Because heroes don't do that.
Because heroes don't do that. That's their exact words. The heroes don't do that. And
I saw this clip on TikTok. There's this guy who does like a bunch of Marvel and DC shit.
Right.
And he was like, what's the point? He has handles on his cowl. They're there for a reason.
Exactly. And so everybody online just lit DC on like a flame under DC's ass. They're just like, excuse me, Catwoman can get whatever she wants when she wants it. Like, come on now.
I just think it's funny that like heroes won't do that, and I'm like, Superman has a kid in most,
also
like comics.
Right, exactly. But you also think about like, okay, but didn't y'all just like have him bang Batgirl in that Killing Joke movie?
Yeah, in the comics, he bangs Batgirl, gets her pregnant, and then she ends up getting into a fight and gets killed. Yeah, but it's okay. Heroes don't go down. They have sex with minors, but they don't go down.
Yeah, man, I saw that, and I'm like, DC, y'all fucked up. I think maybe you just created a bigger flaming... It's probably better for them that they did this, because it created a whole shitstorm for them.
Here's like, I could see this being a problem with, like, Shazam, because, it's a kid.
Oh, no.
But like,
no, that'd be bad taste.
But, like, Batman...
Okay.
Like, Batman's a billion... You think he's a playboy.
Right.
You're telling me he won't go down on people?
And not only that, but you're thinking about the show that Harley Quinn is specifically. Like, the people, the type of people that are going to watch Harley Quinn understand this is not the real, like... This, not that there is a real Batman, but you know what I'm saying, that like this is not like the Batman, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is a Batman in a Harley Quinn show. Of course he's gonna go down on Catwoman. What are you talking about?
You gotta think about the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. You tell me Robert Pattinson won't go down on people?
I think he's like exactly.
He's the kind of guy you would look at and be like, "No, he does."
So actually, some other cool
That's
news.
so funny. Like,
it is though. Yeah.
What a dumb thing for DC to say.
I know.
Just let it be.
I know, but I bet. Yeah, exactly. But
What-
I think it's
what
also
a big
along the
news
lines.
story.
I think it's also along the lines of in The Boys, where like I think there's one scene where the Homelander was supposed to be jerking off over the city.
I thought he did do that. I haven't seen the show.
He did, but like it wasn't the same as what the original thing was. It was supposed to be in an earlier season, and then it was supposed to be even more graphic than it was. Like I think it was supposed to be like showering like the city with the semen. It was supposed to be like really gross, but it wasn't as like provocative as it like was.
I love you.
No, he's like I can do what, his line was like I can do whatever the fuck I want, and he was just he just kept saying that and masturbating over the city. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Egomaniac. Anyways, but another cool piece of news is that a Ted prequel series is coming to Peacock. So I don't. Do you like the Ted series? Yeah, I'm talking about the teddy bear.
Why?
I thought the same thing, but then I'm also like, why not? You know, I'm like, I think it sounds a little
that's
weird.
Just like, okay, so I know Peacock don't got much going for it.
Excuse me, they have Psych, baby.
Amazon has Psych.
Yeah, but sorry, they're creating Psych movies, new movies for Psych. So, you know what?
They also have The Office, Parks and Recs, but
Right.
like in terms of like new content,
You're right. They don't have a whole lot.
They lacking. So they're like,
Yeah, Peacock's a weird streaming
what
service.
could we get the rights to use in our things to get shows? Ted, that did pretty well in theaters, didn't it? Well, the second one didn't. No, it'll be all right. Yeah, we'll use Ted.
I mean, I like Ted a lot, so I think, and Seth MacFarlane said he's returning to be Ted. So
It's just like a weird choice for me. I'm just like, out of everything you could do, Ted. It's like HBO Max. Like they're making a new live action Scooby Doo show, and they're getting a lot of they got a lot of backlash because I guess they're gonna make a Velma Asian, and everyone got mad about that.
Why?
Because people are dumb and they see like she was white, and it's like, well, something she's
Who
been
gives
a lesbian.
fuck?
Like,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
gives a fuck? Like,
Literally, that does not matter to her character at all. But
it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know why we need that. So okay, cool, I guess. Like,
I mean, I don't know why do you need any. My whole question is, what anybody that ever says like that to me, I'm like, why do you need any show?
I don't know.
Or
It's,
any
just,
movie,
it's like
like-
a weird property to make a show out of. Is a R-rated teddy bear movie.
I don't know. I mean, but was it not weird for originally to be made? I mean,
It's Seth MacFarlane. You expect that stuff from him. He made Family Guy.
I don't know. Anyway, I just always find it weird when people ask that question to me because I'm just like, well, any property, no matter what you do, I mean, it's just like, why make that?
I just feel like the show's not going to be as good as the movies because it's a show.
Yeah, but
So
now
it
we're
could
sitting
go-
here
it could go
watching Disney
multiple
Plus.
ways.
We're watching Disney Plus shows that are good as the movies, like Loki and WandaVision and Captain America. And
Peacock don't have Disney money.
No, but that doesn't mean like that you can't.
They're
tell
not
good
going to be
stories.
like, here's over $200,000 for an episode.
Well, no, of course not. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying as far, or you have Game of Thrones, or you have like, I mean, those are the top tier quality films. But even in some like lesser shows, you have good quality content.
I was
even
really
with
when you were
budget.
like Game of Thrones. I was like, are you comparing Ted to Game of Thrones? Because that's not the same.
No, my whole point is that you can create quality content without having to have the budget for it.
But
As long as the teddy bear looks good, who fucking cares?
it depends on what the show's like. Because I feel like if anything, it's gonna try.
I
to
mean,
be like,
obviously, we're gonna base we're obviously when the show comes out, I'm gonna like rate it based on how it actually is. But right now, like just having Ted back, and just in general, I'm excited for that.
all right. I mean, that's your choice. I'm different. I'm like, that's
I mean,
not,
one
that's
thing
not
is-
a big drive for me to get Peacock. I'm good.
Well, Peacock's free, so you don't have to worry about it.
Do I have Peacock?
I mean, Peacock's free, so I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have Peacock.
I'm just trying to think now. I'm like, is that what came with my cable?
I think there's a premium version where you might get more stuff, so they might actually have that a premium version. I'm not sure, but
I don't like all these streaming services with like their 5
nope.
movies and
Me-
they're being like, come
right.
get our shit.
exactly. All right. Well, I think that was all the movie news for this week. So now we're gonna move on to some of our weekly movie watches. Bryce, I know you. Well, I mean, you and I both, but you more than me. We both watched the new In the Heights film.
I watched it. You watched 20 minutes and shut it off.
That's why I said you more than me. I tried watching this film. Did you watch it at home or in theater?
Watched it at home.
Oh, so you didn't end up watching it at home?
I was going to watch it in theaters, and all the seats were in the corner, and my sister likes to sing, so I wasn't going to take her to a theater so she can try to sing songs.
So I tried watching this with my sister as well. How was your experience trying to watching it? Just not maybe with your sister, but just in general.
Okay, you don't want me to talk about my experience with my sister?
Well, you can. No, I'm just saying, but like, I'm not.
Okay.
You have to focus on your sister. But.
For started off, I was interested because the songs were actually kind of decent, and I was like, all right, whatever, it's musical. I zone out during musical songs because I don't like they don't add anything to the story, so I don't pay attention to them.
Okay, no, I understand that.
And I was like, all right, whatever, okay, it's an intro song, sure. I will say that the beginning song pretty good in the Heights, but we've heard it in all the trailers. It was alright. Some of the characters I did not give a fuck about. Like, it's gonna sound horrible. All the female characters just seemed like one note for me. Like, there was a couple where I was like, all right, you have some dynamic, but they didn't really delve too deep into them. At least for me. Like, I know there's a lot of people that like the play and like the Broadway musical and shit that would probably argue me, and I know a lot of people probably argue me. Take it as a grain of salt. I'm not a musical person. This is just I was like watching it and like I was like, why do you want to live like there's the one girl who's his love interest and she wants to live in this like art, like next to this art gallery to sell her clothes. All I can think was like, why does living next to that help you achieve your goal when you can live where you're at for cheaper and be able just to bring your shit to the like what? And then there was like some of the characters would sing and I'd just be like, oh, you ruined the song, because like it'd be like they had the song, it was like 96,000 or something like that. It's like the name of the song. And it's really like a rap at the beginning. I was like, all right, this is cool. And then they're like, hey, what would you do with 96,000? And she starts singing and not like, she like ruined the flow. And I was just like,
oh no,
I don't like the song anymore. Like, I was like, I could bump this song in my car, just jamming out. It's fucking and good beat, good rapping. And then it's like, ah, and I was like, ah.
Yeah. So my experience with this is, I was actually pretty excited for this film because I'm not a huge fan of musicals. And, but that being said, the trailers for this did get me kind of excited. I mean, it looked like a cool story, like cool music. Although we really just didn't see the In the Heights music really. So it started out with the In the Heights. I was like, all right, this it's not so bad, And then it started getting into the second song. And I'm just sitting here and I'm watching it and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'm not feeling this. And I looked at my sister and she looks at me like with like a half like smile, half like grimace, and I'm like, you're not enjoying this, are you? And I'm like, she's like, no, and I'm like, yeah, me neither. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm not saying it would be a bad film if I watch it to the end. I fully expected it to be okay.
The story itself was actually pretty sweet. Like I would say like the third act of the ending, I was getting choked up.
Right.
So I gave it 4 stars because like it got me to that point.
Right.
But I didn't get past that point. Like I didn't feel like I was like, there was no intense emotion for me. And then my little sister sitting next to me.
4 stars is pretty good.
Every single time she saw the guy who made it, because he makes cameos in this,
right?
As like the snow cone vendor.
Okay.
And she'd be like, "Oh my god, it's him!" And I'm like, I want to die.
That was funny.
And it was every single fucking time he showed up, and I was just over there like, I don't shut up.
Yeah.
And then she has this bad habit, like it happened with La La Land, because she listens to the musicals like on her own because she likes them. So like, she knew all the songs already.
What?
So she was already trying to sing every single fucking song. So I was just sitting there on my couch just like, you can't sing.
Like, no.
Because this was a Broadway musical.
Right, like Hamilton. See, and that's another thing, as I've heard, Hamilton's really good, and that's on Disney Plus, and I've always wanted to watch that.
Yeah, and that's the same guy who made this musical,
right?
Was the one who made that.
I'm like, it's not bad. I really just don't care about musicals because like they're trying to me, it's like they're trying to tell the story through musical.
It's so
and it's
rough
like I'm trying to listen to the music and also like I'm trying to appreciate music.
Oh, you're doing the complete opposite of what I do. Yeah. I completely zone out when it comes to the musicals, like the music parts. Like if it's a song like 96,000, I'm like sitting there watching it, like, yeah, this is a good beat. I like this. And then it's like a slower song, and I'm just sitting there like, we're just going on Facebook right now.
I don't I don't typically. I don't listen to a whole lot of music. I'm weird like that. A lot of people love music and listen to a lot of it. I'm very much like I listen to like a lot of classical and I'm listening to
a lot of swing jazz.
I listen to jazz too, but it's just a matter of I don't listen to a whole lot of just like regular songs.
I will say they had the guy who played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton.
I saw that guy. I'm like, I fucking know that guy. And I was like, I was sitting there and watching that
half the movie until he started rapping in 96,000. I was like, that guy played Dr. Dre, didn't he?
See, okay, I like that you knew who it was on the first bat because I'm like, I know that guy. Like, his face is cemented in my brain, and I'm like, where do I know you from? It was like a Disney show, and I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, this dude's Dr. Dre.
So, the main character's name's Yusnavi, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get to where he explained where the name came from, did he?
No.
His dad saw it on a ship as he was entering New York.
Okay.
U.S. Navy.
Oh my god!
I laughed my ass off. I was like, could you imagine that's your
Navy.
name? Hey, what's your name? U.S. Navy. They pronounce it Usnavi.
Usnavi. Usnavi. Wow. No, but the whole thing, and I'm sure there's more depth to it than this, but like, he starts out with the kids, right, at a bar, and then he goes into the first scene of showing that like he got a dream, he got a chance to do his dream job.
Okay, so
and I'm like, oh, so like this, like he's just telling a story about how he got that bar, right?
I want to spoil things.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, go ahead. I mean, obviously.
So if you're listening, you don't want spoilers. Just skip ahead like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, probably less, but
just go
so it turns out that he never actually went.
So what was that bar that he was at?
That's in his shop.
The shop.
He was gonna leave. Like the $96,000 lottery ticket was won by an old woman that passed it to him when she died.
Okay.
And then he was getting ready to leave. Right, like he was right at the end. He was getting ready to go. And then the girl he's interested in brought him to the shop and showed him like her collection. And then he saw this painting that his friends did in the shop. And it was a mural of where his dad's place was.
Right.
And so he's like, we're going to stay. And he built like that little cabana inside the shop. So like he's
so the whole thing was the whole thing was just like, it was like
telling his daughter, who's one of the girls, the story of why he's there and and how he got like his wife and all that. It's a cute ending. I kind of felt like I did the same thing in the beginning where you're like, oh, so he already did it. Cause I was like, well, there's no fucking depth then if I know he fucking goes. Like, I don't care about his journey there because I already know he gets there. And then it starts dissolving in the background, starts turning like a painting.
Okay.
That his friend did of the place. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's kind of cheap, but I think it's kind of cool.
That's a fair ending. Again, I think it's just the musical part. Like,
musicals are rough.
If this was like a regular movie for me, I think I would be a lot more invested.
100%. My thing with musicals is the music adds like 40 to 50 minutes onto the runtime.
It's not that. I think it takes away from the story. Personally,
it distracts me.
Because it's like, okay, I get it. Like the songs aren't bad. It's just my point though is I'm trying to understand what you're saying in the song, and it's hard to follow along when it's moving so rapidly and you're singing so different high notes and there's images and flashes against the screen. Like, I'm missing a lot of what you're trying to say. It's hard for me to understand.
Because there's so many times where I just zone out and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Like, because there's so much information being thrown at you. Because usually when you listen, because watching a musical or listening to a song, you're listening to a song, you don't always hear every word you're saying. You're kind of listening to the melody. You're kind of,
the beat.
The more you listen to it, that's the more you start to understand what it's actually saying, right? Sometimes, you start like pumped up kicks. Fuck, you don't even, half the time you don't even know what it's saying. Like,
you're like, somebody's like, hey, you know about school shooting?
Like, what? Like,
hold up.
But, and then you say it like under the context, and you're like, oh crap. But like, watching a film where the music is the main, like, the voice of the film, it's hard to follow along because like you're just trying to listen to the melodies and like take it all in, and you're not understanding what they're trying to tell you. You
know who I think's the masters of musicals?
Who?
Disney.
Yeah, they do.
Somehow their songs don't distract you from the film, and when they're over, you're just like, yeah, all right, yeah, the next part. Like they feel natural.
They do, and I think the reason for that is because usually when they do the songs, they slow it down. As far as like not like the tempo necessarily, but I'm just saying they slow the scene down. They focus directly on them, and the words are clear, and the music.
It's like Hakuna Matata. That is the ultimate song for passage of time.
My immediate thing, I thought of Let It Go, but
I don't like that song.
You don't like that song,
I
bro?
Don't like that song.
When I first watched, not that this has anything to do with, but when I first watched Frozen, because I put it off for like years. I want to say 4 or 5 years. I didn't watch it. And that's just because I was just like, it's Frozen. I mean, whatever. People talk about it, and it's honest, I just never got around to it. And then I finally watched it, and I like watched the Let It Go song, and every day for like a week, I was like, let it go! Let it go!
You know what my favorite part of Frozen is?
Huh?
Olaf getting impaled. I watched that like 5 times in a row, laughing my ass off. Because I watched it with my niece when she was like 2. Okay. So she was like, oh, this is so good. I had a 2-year-old. And he got impaled, and I choked. I was like, holy shit. And then he's like, oh, I've been impaled, and I lost it. And so I rewound it like 5 times to watch that scene again. And she was like, my niece was getting mad. She was like, no, go. And I was like, this is so funny though.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, musicals are rough. Like,
I'm trying to think. Sound of Music did it really well, but I haven't watched that in a long time, so I don't know. I remember that being good.
It was okay. I mean, when I think of like my favorite musicals, Edward Scissorhands, I like that. Except for
a musical.
Not Edward Scissorhands. What the fuck is it?
Okay, I watched that. I don't remember music.
Sweeney Todd. I was thinking black hair, and all I could think about was Johnny Depp, and I was like, Johnny Depp, pale, black hair, Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, I just haven't. I mean,
The
even
only
La
song-
La
there's
Land
only
was kind
one-
of rough.
La La Land was a rough one for me.
Like the story was really good, but and the only reason I think I got through it was because I was in a theater. Like if I was in a theater, I obviously would have sat through this. But like I'm just saying, like
here's my thing with La La Land. Watched this with my sister. She had been listening to the soundtrack
You need to
for
stop-
weeks.
you need to stop watching your musical with your sister.
The thing that salvaged La La Land for me, it actually makes me like rate it really high. The ending.
No, yeah,
Because,
exactly,
like,
exactly, yeah.
Having him sit on that stage, playing their song and staring directly at her, I'm like, what a big fuck you. Like, he got his dreams, his goals, he did it his way, and you're there with a kid and married,
Exactly.
and you're not with the guy that you're meant to be with because you fucked up. Also, I don't know, I have a bad thing in movies where it's like a guy and a girl arguing, and I always end up taking the guy's side because I'm just like, well, he's right.
Oh my god.
like Marriage Story. Like, even Jada was like, the woman was like, Scarlett Johansson's character was very unreasonable in half her stuff, and I was like, yeah!
Honestly, I'm trying to remember the Marriage Story. I think they were both in the wrong somehow. I mean,
In a way, yes, but I think that he got fucked over more in the end than she did.
Honestly, I don't remember the end of that, so I can't remember. But
Well, they end up being friends and like friends, quote unquote, but getting divorced, and like, I don't know. It just seemed to me like he was trying to make sure everything was like their lives are going really well, and she was like, "You're not doing what I want. We're supposed to move." And it's like, well, he's in charge of a theater company, so I figured that, you know, his career should come first too, instead of just being like, "Fuck it, we're going to California." Pa.
Kelly.
But
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a different movie for a different time.
Exactly. So we watched that film. I mean, well, you watched it. I keep saying I watched it, but I didn't even rate it. I mean, I didn't even like put it in my box because I didn't rate it.
I just think it's funny because you text me like, I made it 20 minutes in and I couldn't do it, and I was like, that's fair.
Again, I could tell it's not a bad film. I just didn't want to watch it. I don't want to watch this.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So I know you. So I know you also watched the Best Picture winner, Godfather.
We did. Yes, that was our Monday movie. We watched The Godfather from 1971 by Francis Ford Coppola. I am the only one of my friends that have ever seen it until Monday.
And I still haven't seen it yet because honestly, I thought it was like a few weeks away. And you guys texted me like we're watching The Godfather tonight, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, okay, so
I'm
it was between The Departed and The Godfather, and both of them are gangster films.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I just want to watch The Godfather because
That's fair.
like I know that one's good.
No, I know. I definitely gotta watch it. But so obviously without anything too many spoilers, or anything like that, how would it hold up for you?
Okay, so my first time watching this, I was in film class like 4 years ago, and I didn't really like it.
So
I was just getting into film though, so like really heavily into film. I was still in my era before I was watching like Ford films or anything really old.
Right.
I was still like no, anything before the 80s was considered old to me. Like I didn't want to watch any of that. So then here we're watching The Godfather from 1971, and I was like, ugh. So I'm sitting there in class watching it. I'm like, all right, this is okay. Like whatever. It's just okay. Watching it at home for the second time after like the whole pandemic spent watching all these foreign old ass movies. Totally different look at it. It went up a full like star because I originally rated 3.5 and now it's 4.5.
Oh wow!
So like it went up because I was like,
that's what I was gonna ask you.
I was like, this is solid as hell.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna ask you. You having been watched a lot of films and having the context and everything that you've had, like, and my main thing is that and I've tried to keep my hype down for this. Not that I get too hyped for it, but a lot of people say this is the best film ever made. And that's
I would argue because that's just me because there's a lot of slow parts where I'm just like, all right. Also, it's 3 hours long, and like 3-hour movies for me, just like
you have to be Avengers.
They have to be like I have to be invested because 3 hours is a long time of my life to spend watching one story, and every single time it's a long movie, it just feels like it's going so slow. Right. Like you gotta think like Endgame, over 3 hours long. But like the final battle is a 40-minute battle piece. That's intense. Like, you got Lord of the Rings where like the battles go by so fast. They're like an hour long. But like this movie doesn't really have really intense battles. It's more like a family drama almost. Okay, yeah, but it's probably more like solid. Like, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm for sure. And I always try to keep my things down, but I know I need to watch it because it's like
I have heard that Godfather Part 2 was better.
I've also heard that, and then Godfather.
And that's ours in 2 weeks. Is we're watching Godfather Part 2 because next week we're trying to figure out what we're doing because like obviously we have 40 movies left to this Best Picture watch. Right. By the time we get through the 40 films, there's going to be the 2021 Best Picture winner already out. So that's almost a year. Like. Yep. But
36, every week. Yeah, exactly. Basically next year. Yeah.
So we're trying to figure it out. The next one's The Sting, which I've heard is pretty good. It has like a 4.1 on Letterboxd. And then The Godfather Part 2. we might end up watching The Godfather Part 3, just saying fuck it, because like we already would have seen 2 of them, so might as well just watch the third one.
Right.
But I'm leaving that. I'm trying to figure out what we're doing Lord of the Rings too, because only Return of the King one, and I feel like it's kind of fucked up just to be like, we're watching Return of the King. If you want to watch the other 2, do it on your own time.
I watched all of those in theaters recently. Did I
watched the first one with you last year.
Okay, and I think I saw that one by myself.
Yeah, because they're so long.
They are, but they're good. Oh, I think I saw an IMAX too. That was pretty cool.
But yeah, so Godfather still good, holds up.
It's.
I was high as hell though, so like, I was intensely like watching it, and like everything was like going in. Like I was ingrained in everything. Jada kept like trying to push me and shit, and I was just like, I was staring dead at the screen, just like invested.
Wow.
So like, I don't know. Something about being messed up makes some of those long films go by really fast.
That's
or I mean, either or, go really fast or really slow. Like you're watching, you're like, feels like it's been half an hour. You look at the time, you're like, it's been 3 minutes.
There was one dialogue.
This was a really long scene. That was 3 minutes. God.
I am Godfather.
I did see another movie.
Yeah, what was that? That's what I'm asking about.
I have 2 movies left to talk about. One of them is not really. We'll get there, but
I got nothing.
The next one is my wife saw a movie called A Ghost Story. I owned it. It's supposed to be really good. It stars Casey Affleck, and she's like, "You need to watch this." So I was like, "All right, sure, I'll watch it." And so we were watching it, and like a couple things. It's about this guy who dies and becomes a ghost.
Sure.
And it's not like the ghost where like he's a human and you can like see him, but it's like he's a sheep ghost.
Ooh.
It shows him in this house. Like he goes back home after he becomes a ghost, and he doesn't talk. He doesn't like. There's very little dialogue in this film.
Right.
So he's there and he's watching his wife or girlfriend or whatever she was going around the house, and like time starts moving weird. Like he'll walk into a room and come out of the room, and it'll be like a totally different layout.
Weird. And
so like at one point he watches his girlfriend leave, and she puts a note in the wall. Of course he's like, I want to see what's on the note. So he sits there and he starts scratching away at the wall, and then like he looks around and his whole new family's already living there.
What the hell?
So like time moves weird. So then he
cool,
starts haunting this family, kind of like he starts pushing photographs down. At one point he opens the cupboards and starts throwing plates across the room while they're eating dinner.
Just to like fuck with them or what?
Because they're in his house.
Right.
His girlfriend's not coming back.
No, that's pretty cool.
And there's also a scene with like squatters coming to start living there, and so he comes out of the bedroom and he sees all these squatters there. Really weird though. Kesha makes an appearance in that scene because they wanted to use her song for the scene, and so she's like, I can do a cameo if you want for free. And they're like, hell yeah, come do a cameo. So she's in the scene. After that, the house kind of goes empty, and he's sitting there digging at the wall, and then like a bulldozer runs through the house and knocks the whole house down. It's demolished, and he looks over, and like earlier in the film, he met this other ghost in the house across from him, and they kind of talk telepathically.
Right.
The ghost is like, I'm waiting for someone. After the houses get demolished, the ghost looks over at him and goes, I don't think they're coming, and just shoots on the ground. Like he just disappears.
Wow.
And then the guy goes through like the future, like to build a skyscraper on where his house was, and he's like on the roof of the skyscraper and jumps. He dressed as she ghost, so like there's no emotion, but you kind of like, it's weird. It's like Darth Vader. Like you can see the emotion without seeing the face. So he jumps, and then like he wakes up in like 1800s kind of time.
Okay.
This guy's setting stakes on the ground. And so
he wakes up at the Skyrim carriage. He's like, "Oh, so you're finally awake."
So like it's weird though, because eventually the house gets rebuilt, right? And so what he ends up doing is seeing himself and his girlfriend come into the house to do a tour of the house.
What the fuck?
And he sees
house on Haunted Hill shit.
He sees him and his girlfriend live their life in this house until he dies, and he looks over and sees the ghost that's him.
No,
in the house,
and so it's him he's been talking to himself.
No,
oh,
but now the ghost in the house with him. So what he does, he looks at the ghost, and the ghost is doing what he did earlier, right? And so he goes and sits down in front of the crack where she put the note and starts digging away at it until he gets the note out. And he opens the note, and he just disappears. And the movie ends.
So you don't know what the note says?
You never know. Here's the thing, though, is I guess they told the actress to write something extremely personal to her on the note. And she did, and she can't remember what's on the note either. And there's this really weird thing, because I guess the actress, there's a scene where she eats a pie, and she had never eaten a pie in her life before.
But
and
why?
This scene pissed me the fuck off, because she did not know how to cut a goddamn pie.
Okay, but has she ever got a pizza before? Come on, son. Like, Come on.
It's like a 5-minute scene of her eating a pie. I was so mad.
I mean, did she put her dick in it? I mean, is this American Pie?
She cuts the pie, eats the piece of pie, and then just starts eating the pie whole on the ground for 5 minutes.
Weird scene.
I timed it. 5 minutes.
Well, that's dedication.
I was like, why is this so long? It's just her eating a pie. Do something.
Wow.
But no, it was a solid film. I think
Sounds pretty cool.
I think I gave it 4.5, 4. Because it was really, really good. It was only 90 minutes, but God, it felt so long because not much is happening.
That sounds like a cool twisty
film. It's like a trippy time thing.
Sorry, I just remembered something, but.
And then I told you I would be watching new Criterion movies, right?
Right.
Well, Criterion released Streetwise along with Tiny, the story of Aaron Blackwood, or something like that.
Okay.
I started Streetwise. It is very boring.
You know, I feel like, and I don't know exactly what the entire mission of Criterion Films is, but I feel like a lot of them you watch, they aren't entirely like I don't know, because it seems like, I don't know, my whole thought process of what the Criterion Films were is like they find like the best films from certain areas, but at a certain point, it's like, you know, when you're trying to do weekly releases, it's hard to keep.
It's hard to keep going with quality.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's weird because this is like it's a movie about these street kids in like Chicago or something,
right? And
how they lived. It's a documentary.
Okay. So
like it shows these kids and like people are prostituting, selling drugs, you know. But I just don't fucking care. So like I'll have like 40 minutes left of it, and I just like I turned it off. I was like I'm gonna finish it, of course, because that's just how I am.
Right.
But I was laying there, I was sitting on the couch this morning watching it, and I was like, you know what? I really don't give a fuck about these characters.
That sucks when you're
here's the thing. So one of the characters' name is Aaron, or Tiny,
right?
In Streetwise. So they had a movie come out in 2016 called Tiny: The Story of Aaron Blackwell.
So it's about this guy.
It's about the girl Aaron, who they follow. You know, because the first one came out in like 1987 or something like that.
Right.
So this is following up with her in 2016. Show like where she is. She's a mother of fucking 10.
Excuse me? 10 kids? Jesus
and, like
Christ.
when I'm watching,
and she keeps care of all of them?
I don't know. I haven't seen the documentary.
Okay.
But like I'm watching Streetwise, and she's like she's 14, and she gets asked the doctor, like she's in a doctor's office, and they ask her like, "Do you want kids?" And she's like, "Oh, I'd love to have kids." All I can think about was like, "Well, you're gonna have 10 of them." So, but man, it's a movie where I'm like, I gotta watch both of these because they're both spine numbers, and I just don't care about these characters. Like, they're just. It's just something like when I watch a movie like Minding the Gap, where it's about these kids, the skaters, you know, their life. I was invested. I was intrigued. I was like, they all have their own dramas, their own story. Right. Then I'm watching this, and I'm like, the kid's just fucking lazy. Like they just found out they can make easy money off prostitution. Like I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, it's sad.
Or like it's a character who's like a lesbian, she dresses like a dude, and then her whole thing is she protects the kids from like people doing weird things. And I'm like, that's cool, but like I don't care about you. Like,
right?
There's nothing in your guys. Like I know it's a documentary and these are real people and the real things that happen, but it's one of those things where I'm like, you guys aren't interesting enough to me to keep my attention for over 90 minutes.
Right.
Like,
I understand that.
I don't care about you panhandling to do your laundry. Like I do not give a fuck.
Okay, Cruella.
Like there's a scene, the guy's like, the kid's outside and he's like, "Can I get a dime, sir, to finish my laundry?" And I'm like, I don't fucking care about your goddamn laundry. You are 10 years old. Like I don't care. Like
exactly. Something you could tell and they told in 20 minutes. You could tell in like 2.
Dude, it's crazy. Like they had this whole story about like, oh yeah, we went up there, we were gonna go rob this place, and I was like, you're 10. You're 10,
like,
bro.
So this is an indie film. Thank you very much.
I was like, I don't care about any of these characters. And then, like, even Erin, where I'm like, you know, she seems interesting at 14.
Right.
But there's not enough to her to make me like, I really want to know where you are in 30 years.
Right.
But I'm going to watch you in 30. Like, I don't fucking care about your 10 kids. Like, you fucked up. I get it. My bad. Sorry. Whoops. Your life's horrible. It was really ironic is in Streetwise, she's like, I'm going to want to be rich. I want to have jewels and diamonds. I'm like, you're going to have 10 kids. You're going to be dirt poor.
Dirty poor.
You can't even afford to take care of yourself and you want to have 10 kids.
Shameful.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to watch this, but I have to.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm slowly going to do it, but I'm just like, I don't care.
So you had given me homework that I didn't do. You want me to watch
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing. And I tried finding it online, and then I had to buy it, and I was just like, oh, crap, well, I should buy it. And then all of a sudden a week went by, and I didn't buy it. So I will try it again next week. to watch it.
It's okay. I didn't watch Streetwise or The Life of Time, so neither of us did.
We didn't do what we were supposed to do.
I made it 50 minutes into Streetwise.
You did, exactly. And I made it to the splash page of Do the Right Things. But we still had plenty to talk about today. So obviously this weekend, I don't know if we'll go together, but I definitely plan on trying to check it out. Hopefully I can find someone to go with me. The Hitman Wife's Bodyguard comes out.
Jaden and I want to watch that.
Okay, cool.
But also, Friday, Luca comes out.
Luca comes out Friday, so we'll be definitely talking about that.
Not Netflix, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Pixar's pissed off movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll talk about that too.
I saw this review. I saw one of the guys I follow on Letterboxd rated that today.
Right.
And I was like, is that out? Because I was watching Streetwise.
Yeah.
And he lives in Ohio, but it's his job, so I assume
screener.
Yeah. But I was like, as soon as I saw him review it, I was like, wait a minute, is that out? If that's out, I'm gonna watch that right now. Like, I do not care. It's Pixar. I will drop whatever I am doing right now and watch a Pixar film.
I thought that exact same thing too. I was at work and I'm like, I might watch Pixar on my laptop right now just because. Like,
I was like, if Luca is out right now,
I'll watch it again later on my TV. But I need to watch. If something Pixar comes out, I'm watching it right now.
But yeah, so Luca comes out Friday. Him and his wife Bodyguard. They had pre-screeners you could do last week.
Yeah, I just
really confused everything.
I got confused too.
I thought it came out last week.
Yeah.
But it turns
out
it
actually already opened on like today. I think it actually opened Wednesday, which is weird. But like,
I don't know.
So there was like,
I don't know.
There
what
was
they're
like,
doing with this.
there was showtimes last night because like late last night because it opened on Wednesday because it opens on Friday. You have showings on Thursday.
I don't like that.
And I'm like,
I'm confused
why?
as hell with that.
There are some. It does happen occasionally with movies, but I think it was just weird.
I always just expect them like with the pandemic's really messed up movie schedules for me because I'm like, it's supposed to come out Fridays, pre-screeners on Thursdays. Like advanced, but now they're like, oh well, they're going to be releasing on Wednesday. They're going to release on Monday. It's going to release on Thursday. I'm like, what is your schedule? You have no schedule now.
I don't think that's going to be a normal thing. I think that this one just did that for
it's
some
just
reason.
Weird. There's been like a lot of movies where they like come out on weird days of the week right now.
It might be that. Be that for like the rest of the year.
Why? Like, just come out on a Thursday. Thursdays are easy.
Yeah, because I think the reason it comes out on like 7 o'clock on Thursday for us is because we're in a different time zone.
I mean, probably.
Well, I think that used to be the case, but not anymore. I think they just do it on like Thursday night.
It just bothers me. I'm just like, can you just come out at a normal time every week? Because like this is annoying the hell. I mean, we're having to look at be like, is this coming out today? I can go see him and his wife Bodyguard right like today.
We could, yeah.
I'm totally thinking about it because my wife works tomorrow. So we'll see you tonight.
Well, that is all for this week.
It's only 99 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Or an hour and a half basically, or hour and 40. So we will. Let's see. Thank you guys for talking to us. We talk In the Heights, various constant walks throughout the week, and some movie news. If you want to keep up with our activities outside the airwaves, you can follow me, Mytchel Chandler, at Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler, on Twitter at Mytchel Chandler, and on Letterboxd at Mitch Reviews. And remember, Mitch is spelled with a Y, so that's MYTCH. And Bryce, where can people follow you in your wonderful adventures online?
You can find me on Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews, Instagram at Payne Love Cinema, and Twitter at Sanguine Films.
And we also have a podcast, an Instagram for our podcast that we post sporadically on.
We have a podcast?
We have a podcast for our podcast. And you can find that.
It's where we talk about behind the scenes stuff.
We should, though.
Do you remember that time where you screwed?
Exactly. Every time. Anyways, then that's at Into the Filmverse podcast. And hey, if you are a fan of the Loki Disney Plus show, we also have a live spoiler discussion up for that for episode 2. Obviously, episode 3 will come out tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. We'll have a new discussion about that probably either that same night or Thursday. So we should look out for that. And that is all for this week, our fellow cinephiles. Until next time,
Excelsior!